excited to prepare this, and we will see how it goes. For those of you that don't know, alongside this free masterclass, I'm also running a 30-day Best Year Ever challenge inside the Daily Dose of Healing. And in there, we've already been training for 7 days on how to create a vision and then take steps towards where you would like to go in regards to your vision and how to get there. So if you do want to join us, it is not too late. We had somebody join in even this morning. So again, if you want to continue the energy of this masterclass over the next 30 days or until the end of January, then feel free to join us in the 30-day challenge. And it is $20.25 for 2025. So that's all I got to say this. All right. So I've been, as most of you know, I've been practicing chiropractic for quite some time, and it's not the traditional chiropractic that you're used to. We know it's very light touch, gentle, and we want to focus not only on the physical, but emotional, mental, and sometimes even spiritual aspects of a person. And so through this type of chiropractic care, I've been able to study how change happens in the body and how some people shift and are able to change and others are not. And so I've been using these patterns to come up with what is it that causes the most amount of change to occur in the body and in the nervous system. But before we get into that, why do we want to change in the first place? Why would we want to change? Well, the answer is that change is a part of nature. Change is a part of who we are. It is the natural process of things. The seed grows, sprouts, grows into the tree, and the leaves change color and fall, they fall down. And then so it's always changing. The seasons are always changing. There's the nighttime and the day. There's a change as we evolve in years. Every single day we're getting older, right? So they're always changing. Even the physical cells in our body, every time they die and we replicate them, they are in constant change. So change is a part of who we are. To stay the same is actually the opposite. Well, we know that to say the opposite of change, but to not change or to stay the same is going against the very nature of who we are. So that's why if there's an area in your life that hasn't changed in some way, then there is stagnant energy in there. Right? A lot of us know that our body physically changes, and we can notice that there are shifts in our body, but we also need to know, have there been changes in the range of emotions that we can experience? Have there been changes in our thoughts? Has it been that one thing that some things that you thought were true are no longer true because you've learned or grew out of that pattern? Or is it the same that you're constantly thinking the same thoughts over and over and over again? Because if your thoughts are also not evolving and changing, then you are stuck in a holding pattern. How about patterns of behavior? The nervous system. Are there areas in your life that are stagnant and not changing? Because if they are, then there is stuck energy there. Okay? You're in a holding pattern. And holding patterns can come about due to trauma. And by trauma, I don't mean it has to be some big thing that's happened to you, although it can be. Trauma just means that something occurs, and let's say it's an event, and there's too much in the moment for your body to process. So it stores it. How does it store it? It may store it as muscle tension. It may store it as a spinal distortion. So you could change your posture in some way, like a head tilt, or it's stored energetically as a vibration until your body is able to process and feel it. And if you don't process and feel it, then it gets walled away and the energy remains stuck there. So the body triages. I've used this example before. Let's say you're in a car accident. Every single cell, organ, tissue in your body moves when, let's say, somebody hits your car. So everything is happening because everything moves. When the paramedics arrive, your body does a triage. What's most important? Okay, head and internal organs. All right, so then you say, my head hurts. A couple days later, you might notice that your shoulder hurts from where the seatbelt was, or that you banged your knee against the dashboard and you didn't realize that until later. So the body, when it's safer or when it has more time, can start to process the other items that are not in immediate danger, like when it's triaging it. Okay, so it doesn't always have to process everything at once. Once it's dealt with the major things, it can continue to process further down the line. However, there will be times where we experience something that is too much for our nervous system, that we don't have the capacity to process. And so in that case, we wall it off and we store it, especially if it's like an emotion that we don't want to feel. Could be anger, it could be pain, it could be discomfort, it could be shame, all the ones that disappointment. Yeah, who wants to feel disappointment, right? Who wants to feel shame? Then we go, yeah, I'm not gonna feel that. I'm just gonna shove it down over there. And then I'm gonna shove fear down over there and over there and there and there. And then all of a sudden your body runs out of places to put this and you wonder why it's tense, right? So when you have trauma stored in the body, it makes it harder to process and use all the functions of your body because some of the energy is being used storing the trauma, right? And so that you don't feel it. And that area also stays in a holding pattern. So while the areas around it can change, that one has more difficulty. So over the years, I've come up with 3 main pillars for growth and transformation. These are just my pillars. It could be pillars. Other people could have different pillars, but I like to call them my 3 pillars of growth and transformation. And they involve the nervous system, identity, and energetics. And so today we're going to be talking about all 3 of them as it relates to change, because we want to create the best year ever, right? And if last year was not your best year ever, then we want to change it so that this is your best year ever. And if last year was your best year ever, we stack greatness on top of greatness and we go, this is going to be my best year ever. So if this year's your best year ever because of what we're doing today and for the rest of the year, then on top of that, we stack, it only gets better. The sky's not even the limit. Just every year gets better and better. That would be what we would love. Okay, so before we go into that, I want to answer, how is it that we can be certain that 2025 is going to be the best year ever? How can we do that? Well, the first thing is that it starts with a decision. You need to make a decision that this is going to be your best year ever, no matter what. No matter what happens, no matter what life throws at you, this is going to be your best year ever. So at the end of November, in my daily dose of healing group, we have different themes of the month. So I was deciding the theme in my membership, and I was also reading the book, A Course in Miracles. So December was all about miracles. I did a whole month of training on miracles. And as I started to teach about miracles, read about it, and then apply it so that it's embodied into my nervous system, I tapped into this place called the miracle zone, or I like to call it the miracle zone. You can call it the creator zone. It's also been called the God zone, the universal zone, the place where everything is available to you. Call it whatever you like, God zone, spirit zone. I call it the miracle zone. So it's a place where everything or anything is possible for you. So as I was trying to decide on the theme for my next year, every year I create a theme, I asked myself, how do I stay in this miracle zone as long as possible or as often as possible? And when I pop out, how do I get myself back in? And that's when I came up with the theme for 2025. It's going to be the best year ever. The reason this year is going to be my best year ever is because I decided it. I said, this is going to be my best year ever. And I am going to spend the most amount of my time possible in the miracle zone. And when I'm out of the zone, I'm going to get back into the zone. So it is all about the miracle zone. So claiming that this year is going to be the best year for you is the first step in making it happen. And there's a different energy when you go, yeah, okay, 2025 is going to be my best year ever. When you're like, no, 2025 is my best year ever. It is that. The energy behind it is different. That's the energetics behind what we do. It is what is the energy coming into it. Oh, right now, we're going to head into a little bit of a meditation so that you too can also claim that this is going to be your best year ever. So if you're driving, don't do this, okay? Take a minute. Maybe I'm sending out the replay within the next 24 hours. So take your time with it. If you want to do the meditation again later, you can, right? But find a comfy spot. You can be seated, you can be lying down, you can cover yourself up nice and cozy in blankets. Whatever it is that you feel called to do right now. It's cold outside today, so maybe the warm blankets are for you. Actually, just before I started this masterclass, I was upstairs. I'm at the office today, so I was upstairs where we have a fireplace because I was feeling cold, and I went up and I said, "Oh, let this fire warm me up for this masterclass." So I'm literally on fire. I just came from being on fire. I stood beside the fireplace. I am warm, all ready for you guys. So let's breathe in the warmth of the fire into your desires, into the vision that you have for 2025, so you can make it the best year ever. And when I talk about vision, I always have somebody go, but I don't know what I want. I don't know what it looks like. It's okay. It's okay if you do this and nothing comes up, okay? That is okay. We will talk about what to do then, all right? But for now, let's try this. And it might not pop up now. There are circumstances where someone does a meditation and then later on down, a couple days later or even an hour later, they go, aha, I see. Now I get the download. Okay. This is a space that we are opening, energetically opening, so that it creates space for you to pull in what it is that you desire, to see the vision. It's when we attach ourselves to the timeline, like I have to know by the end of this meditation, I have to have an answer, I have to have a vision, that we go directly into lack. And lack is not in the miracle zone, right? Abundance is in the miracle zone. So if you're thinking from a place of lack, we've already pulled ourselves out of the miracle zone. So this meditation takes us into the miracle zone. Yay! And from the miracle zone, you're actually going to listen to the rest of the masterclass from a different place. So we're going into the miracle zone. Everything is available. And we are not attached to the timing. Okay? Doesn't matter when the answers come, when the vision is seen, whether there is even a vision at all. We're just going into the zone. So get yourself comfy. Close your eyes. And we're going to take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And in through the nose and out through your mouth. And again, breathe in deeply, filling your lungs, creating space. And with the exhale, releasing anything from last year, 2024, that no longer serves you. Whatever you do not want to carry into this year, release it out with your breath. As you breathe in again, breathe in more space into your lungs, more space into your body. And with the release, breathing out anything you no longer want to carry forward. Imagine any emotions, any thoughts, any relationships, any attachments that you don't want to carry forward. Breathe it out with your breath. Bring your awareness to this moment, right here, right now. You've got 20 million screens open and your cell phone on and all, and you're trying to cook dinner and drive. Again, come back to this later. Come here, right now. Close the distractions. Give yourself the gift of this time together right now. Feel where your body is touching the ground. Feel where it's supported, maybe by your chair, maybe by the floor. Be present. This is the time that you have, that you've chosen to give yourself the gift of being here and in the miracle zone. Today, you are the youngest you will ever be again. So this moment, this day, right now, is a part of your youth. Imagine the 100-year-old version of yourself looking back at today. No matter what age you are right now, today is part of your youth when you're looking back from 100 years old. What would that version of you wish for right now? What would they say to you? You're going to have a conversation with your 100-year-old self. What are some of the things that your 100-year-old self would have wanted you to do right now? Listen for a response. If none comes, that's okay. Let their wisdom guide you as you decide in this moment. I'm going to make 2025 my best year ever. Breathe in those words. 2025, this year is my best year ever. And breathe out any stress, any tension in your body. Picture yourself sometime towards the end of the year. Maybe you're standing tall, maybe you're smiling, maybe you're feeling radiant, maybe you're feeling strong. Have a look at the confidence in your eyes, the fulfillment in your heart, that spark that's there. And I want you to ask yourself, what did you do to get here? What choices did you make? And again, listen for an answer. Feel the gratitude for the decisions you're committing to today. Take in another really deep breath. And let it all out. And again, as you breathe in, gently say to yourself, I'm ready. I'm capable. This will be my best year ever. When you're ready, slowly wiggle your toes, wiggle your hands, come back to now, come back to today. I'll give you 1 minute, and if you want, maybe you can write down anything that you saw, you felt, you heard. You can either write it in the chat if you want, or you can just write it down for yourself in a journal someplace so that you don't forget. Open your eyes when you're ready. And we're going to carry this intention that this is our best year ever into this masterclass, into the rest of the month, and then throughout the year. In the miracle zone, in the creator zone, 2025 is yours to create. You can make it extraordinary. It doesn't matter what happened all the previous years, because if you look forward to the future, you can create anything in the miracle zone. However, it is not just going to happen for you. You're not going to be like, okay, this is my vision. I see it, I see it, I see it, and sit there, and then all of a sudden, poof, magic, right? It appears. No, you got to take actions in alignment with where you want to go. You have to take actions towards its creation. If you have a vision of, a thriving business, people aren't just going to pop up. They will pop up, but you do also need to take an active role in it. It is you go first, the universe follows. On a side note, our next free masterclass is going to be at the beginning of March. March is the 4th, I believe. And it is called co-creation. Literally these words: you take a step, the universe follows. So we're going to be doing an entire masterclass on the co-creation miracle zone. Okay, that'll be in March. All right. So I talked about 3 pillars for growth and transformation. Those are your nervous system, identity, and energetics. And we're going to be talking about them as it relates to change, and in no particular order. I'm going to start with identity because it kind of matches with the meditation that I had started. All right. So I already said you're not going to wait for success to fall into your lap. You're not going to wait for your vision, $1 million, boom, right into my lap, right? That is called wishful thinking. You got to take the action in order. Can you have $1 million? Yes. Does it just sit there and fall out of the sky? Most likely you're going to have to take some action steps towards it. And maybe you're called to start a business. Maybe you're called to learn something new. I talked during the meditation that it's okay if you don't know what your vision is. So some people will have a vision. They know exactly what they want to focus on. They know what they want the end of the year to look like. They can talk to that version of themselves and go, yes, this is what I got to do. And so then their job is, like I said, to take aligned action. It's also to get the skills that are required for you in order to fulfill upon your vision, right? So you've got your vision, and then let's say your vision is, I'm going to open a business in 2025. Okay, what are the skills I need to open a business? Maybe I need to take some accounting. Maybe I need to learn marketing. Maybe I need to learn sales. I don't know, whatever. Secure a location, all the things that you would need, all right? And then you take the steps towards that. Now, there are a group of people who are like, I don't have a vision. I don't know what it is. I don't know what to do. What do I do? For you, what you do is you take the steps that you're being guided to take, no matter what they are. So, and then one day you're going to develop skills along the way. And then one day your vision is going to appear. And then you will have the skills already that is required to fulfill on that vision. And so, for example, you get this calling, you're like, I really want to be not even be a chef, but I want to learn how to cook. I want to learn more about food, even though you're a car mechanic. All right, so you learn that. I want to learn German. I want to learn whatever. Whatever it is that you're desiring to learn is your desire. It's meant for you because it's coming through you. I don't have a desire to learn German, but if you have a desire to learn German, that means that skill is probably going to be used to fulfill the vision that you have for who you want to become. Because maybe due to my heritage, I might be drawn to things that are more Asian in nature or places to visit. Like I'd like to visit Japan and Thailand and Southeast Asia, all these things. Somebody else, that might not be their vision. They might want to go to South America. They might want to go to Antarctica, wherever it is. I have those thoughts because that is a part of my ultimate mission and vision that I want to create. Right? So if you don't know what your vision is going to look like, that's okay, right? You take the steps in alignment with what is calling for you right now. Back in August, I started Muay Thai kickboxing. I don't know what led me there. I wanted to do another sport. I had been called to martial arts since I was a child. I used to do Taekwondo when I was younger. So I said, let's go back. It's been 15 years since I've been back to martial arts, and the calling came. I wanted to exercise, and here I am. So 5 months later, I am still doing kickboxing. So whatever it is that you're drawn to learn, learning is part of the miracle zone. Learning is a place because we're always learning, right? We are born with hardly being able to do anything. I mean, you can smile, you can cry, you can't even get to the milk because you can't always squirm there. Someone has to feed you, right? Like some other mammals, they are born able to walk. Nope, we don't even get to walk for a year. We don't even get to crawl first until like 6 or 7 months. And so we are born learning. What happens is that we forget that along the way. So learning is part of the miracle zone. So when you're learning, it puts you in the space of creation because it's newness, right? It's creating new pathways in the brain, new synapses are being formed, neurons are, whoa, mind blown, right? So when we go to, let's circle back to identity. I was answering the previous question that some people have is, what if I don't know my vision? Okay. Now we're back to transformation and growth. So identity. We're not going to let success fall in their lap, right? In the end, it's not even about achieving our goal that we have. It's really about, we've heard it before. Everyone says, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. But the journey is who you become along the way. Most of us are so focused on that end result. If you're just focused on the end result, you're only going to have little blips of happiness. Ooh, I achieved my goal. Yay, what's the next goal? Oh, I just want to graduate middle school and go to high school. You do that. I just want to graduate and go to university, college. You do that. I just want a job, right? And then you get those things. But it's only those blips, like high school when I went was 5 years. If I was only focused on getting my high school certificate or whatever, then it was only going to be one day, the day you graduate, that there's happiness. But if you focus on all the learning that takes place in between, the times that you have with your friends, the magical moments, if high school was good for you, all the good parts of it, then it was who you were evolving to be, the journey. You could have so many more spikes of enjoying your life. Right? If we were all focusing on just the goal of no one's going to leave here alive, right? This earth plane, our bodies are going to go. And so if you're just focusing on death, then you haven't really lived, right? A lot of people, I heard this quote and they said, a lot of people said they would die for their children. I would die for my children. But would you live for them? Would you be an example and show them what's possible? Oh, people would have a harder time doing that. So back to identity. Oh, all these tangents today. Okay, so if we don't get everything done, because I seem to have gotten motor mouth today, then I'm gonna just continue it inside the training in the 30 days of in the daily dose of healing. So for those of you that are already in there, I'll continue in there. I will try and get through as much of it today. All right. So it's about who you are becoming along the way. If you enjoyed every moment, like when you're learning a language, the fun isn't when you become the one day that you're like, oh my goodness, I'm fluent. It's oh, I understood that. Oh, they said something and I was watching TV and I was like, I got that. Oh, I learned this, right? It is the little joys along the way as you become better, as you become more proficient. So who are you becoming as you are moving towards your vision? Let's say, for example, you have a goal and you want $1 million. I picked that goal because it's easy. It's a number, something easy that everybody can relate to in terms of maybe wanting more abundance. Okay, so let's say you want $1 million. Well, why do you even want it? Like, it's actually about how you want to feel, right? Maybe you want it because you can travel. Maybe you want it so you can retire and not work. Maybe you want $1 million so you can support the causes that you want to. Right? Sit on a beach sipping pina coladas. I don't drink, so I wouldn't be doing that, but maybe a non-alcoholic pina colada. Why do you want what you want? It is to have the feeling. What would having $1 million give you? Probably feeling free, right? Free to be able to go where you want, buy what you want, travel the way you want, donate to the causes that you want, support the causes that you want. So what you're actually looking for is freedom. You're not looking for the $1 million, you're looking to be free, right? But how do you know that $1 million is going to bring you freedom? Maybe you'll feel that same, experience that same freedom with $500,000. So maybe it's not about the goal, but the feeling that you want to experience along the way. Maybe you become a millionaire and you're like, wow, there's so many more. You go into Cartier or whatever and you can buy like a watch for $1 million. And you're like, oh, I wouldn't be able to afford that. So the idea is not to be stuck on the goal and not to attach. We attach the time. And as I talked about, attaching time to it puts you in lack because time is something that you run out of. Time is something that's actually finite. We have a certain amount of time. And so when you attach your goals to the time, like I want to do this, I want to lose 10 pounds by tomorrow. Ugh, I want to lose 10 pounds over my lifetime. Yeah, okay, I can do that. I can get on board with that, right? I want to, find the relationship of my dreams. Okay, by tomorrow, ugh, over a lifetime? Yeah, okay, that's possible, right? So when you're looking at the vision of what's possible, when we're looking at the miracle zone, it's the abundance of it. When we stick the timeline in, by tomorrow, by this, by that, yeah, lack, there we go. Okay, so it's also why I'm not saying, when I asked you to look towards the end of the year, I didn't say go to the last day of the year because you could achieve your vision in like 6 months, right? You could, the things that you desire, you could be like, oh, I'm in June and I already got it, awesome. Or it could be next January. And then you were upset because it didn't come at the time that you desired. So your job is to stay in the miracle zone. And your goals, figure out what feeling it is that you are wanting to experience. And what could you do right now in this moment to create the feeling? So let's say, for example, we're taking that same example, you want to feel free financially. Okay. Where could you want to feel abundant financially? Where could you go now that you would feel abundant? Let's say you're fortunate enough to be able to go to the grocery store and buy any groceries that you want. You would be abundant there because you could buy what you desired. You have abundance. Let's say that isn't possible for you. Like my kids. I take them to the dollar store and I give them like $10. They feel abundant there. There is nothing that they cannot get there. Like one thing, everything is under $10 at the dollar store. So they're financially free there. That is a place that even in the dollar store, my children can feel abundant. So how can you have that feeling now? How can you create the feeling now so that you can move towards feeling more of that feeling? You just want to expand upon the feeling. And when it comes to identity, when you look at the vision for what you want to achieve, what you want to do, who do you need to become in order to achieve it? What version of yourself do you have? What skills, again, similar to the vision, what skills do I have to require? Who do I need to become? With the same business owner, let's say you want to do the vision, the skills we talked about, accounting, marketing, sales, there's other aspects of you that need to show up, right? How about the most confident version of you? How about working on leadership? How about courage? Are those softer skills required in order for you to become the person that you want to be? Yeah. So you get to work on that. You get to practice courage. a lot of us ask, dear God, please give me more courage. Please send me more courage. And then that's not how the universe works. You don't just get more courage. Courage is built. So what the universe, God, spirit, whatever you want to call it, higher power does is they're like, here, let's give you experiences so that you can practice your courage. And then you become, over time, you build up that courage. You don't say, well, I've said this many times, please grant me patience. Don't say that. Be careful what you're asking for, because you don't get more patience. You get more opportunities that allow you to work on your patience. Whenever I ask for patience, let's say it's with the kid, that's when the meltdown happens, because that's when the universe, who I believe must be a comedian, the universe must be a comedian, in my book, anyway. The second I ask for more patience, the meltdown occurs, something happens, and I get to practice patience even longer. The kids miss the bus, somebody is late, etc., etc., etc. So yes, I will over time develop the skill of patience that I ask for, but it is not in the way, it's not patient dust that gets sprinkled and all of a sudden I have patience. It is developed along the way. Courage is developed along the way. So identity is about stepping into the version of you that becomes an energetic match for your vision. So you have to become a match for who you want to become. What skills? Like maybe I need more confidence. Maybe I am stepping into a role of leadership. Maybe I'm working on my intuition. Maybe I am, etc. Expanding my languages, right? Maybe you want to run a business in Germany or speak to more clients who are German. And then your vision comes up and you're like, oh, I've been studying German. Yay, How did the universe plan that? All right. Pillar number 1, identity. It's about who you need to become. Second pillar, nervous system. So for most of us, change is not safe for the nervous system, meaning nervous system is wired for safety, for comfort, for predictability, for stability, right? When something happens, here's me in my little comfort zone, something outside the comfort zone, your body may deem it to be dangerous. And so you go into fear, you go into stress, you jump into that sympathetic nervous system, right? And so what happens is you convince yourself that you need to stay within your comfort zone, right? So it looks like this. I'm going to go to a new gym. Yes, I'm going to start a new exercise routine. And, I'm going to go to this new yoga class that I've never been to. So morning comes where you got to go to the yoga class. And then all the voices come, oh, I'm tired this morning. Oh, my throat, it's a little itchy. I should not go and exercise this morning. I should not go to yoga because my throat is tingling and no bueno, no good, right? Or the voice is like, oh no, you don't need to exercise today. You could really use extra sleep. I am not talking about when your body actually requires something, right? There are times that your body actually says you need sleep. In a tone where you're like, yes, this means this is my intuition talking, this is my higher self talking, speaking, saying, yes, I need more sleep. On those days, you honor yourself. I'm talking about that little voice that said, oh no, you don't have to do this. Oh, yeah, you can cheat just a little bit. You can have that cake, just a little cake. Oh, well, it was so good a little bit. We'll start our diet tomorrow. I'll start eating well next week, right? The best one is when I have patients tell me, they're like, well, I will start eating better after my vacation. Okay, great. When's your vacation? Well, it's in 3 weeks. Okay. So are you eating well now? No, I'm not going to eat well until after my vacation. Okay. So for the next 3 weeks, you're not going to eat well. Then you're going to go on a 2-week vacation and you're not going to eat well. And then when you come back, are you going to eat well? Well, no, I need another week to recover and from my vacation and, to get all my groceries, yada, yada, yada. I can't eat well until that. Okay. So now we're at like 6 weeks of not eating well. Another alternative could be you eat well until you go on vacation. And then on vacation, you do whatever it is that you desire. You go on vacation mode. And then you come back and you plan to eat well again after. Okay? We're not talking all or nothing. It does not have to be perfection. Okay? We are humans. We get to make mistakes. And your nervous system is going to try and convince you not to do something that it doesn't know, because it thinks danger, danger, danger. So even though you're like, oh, it's just a new yoga class, you're going to come up with all these things. When I went to started kickboxing, I was very intimidated to go into one of the gyms because, well, when I went in, everybody was a lot bigger than me. Most of them were male. Having done, Muay Thai for years, there were fighters, and I was like, there's no way I'm going to do this. And so I did go in though, because I knew my nervous system was freaking out. I said, have there been new people to try the sport? Absolutely. Okay, so everyone starts from the beginning. Let's go in. Went in. Still doing it today. Even today, sometimes going into some classes, I'm like, oh, I don't know about this. Those guys have been doing it for a long time. Don't want to get punched in the face today, because that's also no bueno. Anyway, nervous system. They wired for safety and comfort. So what you need to do is to remind yourself that is this a real threat or a perceived threat? In a real threatening, lion chasing after you, your body is going to be running before you even know it, right? It's going to be fighting before it automatic. Okay? Your email is not a real threat. It's not going to come out of your screen and actually do bad things to you. It may feel that way in your body, but it's not going to. So you need to ask yourself, is this a real or is this a perceived threat? And whenever your nervous system starts to go a little bit haywire, and you start to notice your blood pumping hard, and your blood pressure going up, and maybe your muscles tighten, that is a sign that your nervous system, you're going outside of your comfort zone or what your body can handle in the moment, right? And so there's so many tools for nervous system regulation, but the first thing is just to be aware, and you need to also find the tool that works for you, to be aware of that you're not in, let's say that you're out of the miracle zone for sure, but that your body is reacting as if it was under threat when it actually isn't. Okay. So there's nervous system regulation. So you can use breathing, you can go for walks, you can use all these tools. You can come in here to help you get your nervous system back to its baseline. And then there's another concept, which is increasing your capacity for your nervous system. This is where you slowly over time create it so that something that used to be, let's say, scary for you is no longer scary for you. And that happens over repetition. So imagine again, the first time that you were driving a car, very scary, check the rear view mirror 5,000 times, look at the, look at the side mirrors 1,000 times, pull out of the driveway, slam the brakes again. All the things happen. Now you can do all of that without even thinking it. Some people can drive home, go and not even know how they got there, right? So nervous system capacity, expanding that, one of the ways is through repetition, and you do slow steps over time. Right? When you started to learn how to read, you did not know how to read. It was like my son is learning how to read. Le chat. Le chat means the cat. They go to school in French. So le chat. Le chat. Le chat. Okay, buddy, what does it mean? I don't know. Okay, let's try again. Le chat. Okay, le chat. What is it? He's like the cat. Okay, great, wonderful. Next sentence. Le chat. But now he's getting better at reading. So expanding your nervous system capacity is to expose yourself little by little to the perceived danger, not the real threat, the perceived danger over time, so that it becomes, and you breathe into it. Now, a side note on nervous system regulation, you can only regulate the emotions and the things that you are willing to feel. If some of those emotions like guilt, shame, disappointment, the not so fun ones. If you're not willing to feel them, you cannot regulate them because you don't even feel them. So you need to be able to feel certain emotions. And what you do there is, let's say you're feeling guilty and you don't like, or disappointed. Everyone knows what disappointed is like. Feel disappointment. And normally you would be like, okay, I'm going to run away from this. I don't even want to talk about it. What you do is you stay in the disappointment. You stay in that feeling for like 2 seconds longer than you normally would before. Let's say you're in a conversation with somebody and you're like, I'm feeling disappointed in this moment. And normally you'd be like, oh, that's it, I'm out. I'm going to run away from this conversation. Then you plant yourself and you say, I'm going to stay here because it's not a real danger. It's a perceived danger. I'm going to stay in this uncomfortable and feel this uncomfortable emotion just for 1 or 2 seconds longer. The longer you are able to stay in the uncomfortable and know that you're okay, the wider your nervous system capacity is. And when your nervous system capacity increases, you can handle so many more things. That's when you say, oh, that used to bother me before. Before someone cut me off in traffic and I would have a cow and react in all these ways. And right now, it doesn't bother me anymore. So you've increased your nervous system capacity to handle that. So first thing in change, not even first, not in order, but the 3 pillars for change. One of them is identity. The next one is nervous system. Okay, in the nervous system work, it isn't regulating yourself out of feeling. It is to be able to experience your experience for what it is, to fully experience it. If you are in anger, then you are not in the state of anger, you feel the emotion of anger. A state is something that lasts a long time. Emotions last minutes, okay? Short periods of time. The emotion passes and it's done. You see the example in kids. This morning, my daughter had a meltdown. She didn't want to go to school. Lasted 2 minutes. And then after, she's like, I'm done. I'm ready to go. The emotion, you feel it, you move it through your body. It changes you. It changes the energy. You use the energy for something else. Anger, people have been told, don't feel angry. No, feel your anger, because anger, what if anger tells you that it's finally time to say enough of this? I need a new boundary. I'm not going to do this anymore. I deserve more than this. You use the fuel of anger to change, to bring about change. So it's not about not feeling anger. It's about fully experiencing it in the moment. And also at the same time, being aware that, hey, I can breathe into this. I can experience this and I can breathe. I can hold the space of the duality of this moment. In every moment, in every experience, there is both. There is the duality of it. Right? There can be, look at birth, birth, intense pleasure, intense pain, because, hey, you get a baby, lots of pain, no fun, right? But both, you have the duality of it. In death, someone leaves, and yet maybe it's time for them to go, or maybe they were suffering. So then there's good to come out of that. So hold the duality of it. Your nervous system capacity allows you to hold the duality. So over time, as you increase your nervous system's capacity to handle change, you allow yourself to stay in the feelings longer, whether that even be, some people can't feel gratitude, can't feel the great emotions. They don't allow themselves to feel excitement or joy. If that's the case for you, then you stay in those feelings a little longer. You expand the laughter, you expand the joy, your ability to hold that. Okay. And again, everything is done over time. We do not lift the heaviest weights in the gym on our first day. We don't even care what, like you could walk into the gym on the first day that you are starting an exercise. Who cares what the squat rack can hold? Who cares what the highest dumbbell levels are? Doesn't matter. You don't need them. You're not going there. So you only need to know to expand a little further out than where you are right now. Okay, 10 minutes. All right, let's see if we can get through the final pillar, which is energetics. I've talked about energetics before in different master classes. And in today's case, we're going to talk about the masculine and feminine energetics, not male and female, okay? We both exist, masculine and feminine energetics within everybody, within us, okay? And they are complementary forces that, when we balance them, allow us to really transform, change, and grow. Okay, excuse me. So when it comes to the masculine energetics for change, masculine energy is about driving, structure, action, discipline, focus, right? You're going to need self-discipline along the way in order to fulfill your vision. You're going to need to take action. You're going to need a structure. Like if you're going to work out, then there's a structure to it. Do I go Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays? What's my schedule like? When do I do that, right? If you're doing an eating plan, what am I eating? What time am I eating it at? What foods am I allowed to? What foods am I not allowed to eat? When? La, 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 la. You need to have those in place. That's the masculine energetics, right? Direction, action, discipline, problem solving, protection, safeguarding your vision, right? This vision is meant for you. Other people are going to come around and try and one of my Sadhguru, he is an enlightened master. He is a master in India. And he talks about there are candle bursts. So like they walk around, everyone has this light and this candle within them. And then there are people who walk around blowing other people's candles out. There are people who light the candles of others who have this bright light shining and then even go on and light the candles. And then there are candle poofers that poof out other people's candles. So your vision that's within you is going to burn brightly. And there will be some, which is why it's important to be in community with other people that have a vision, so that you guys we all share the same energy in terms of moving forward towards our vision. And so that the candle poofers should be kept at bay. So protect your vision from, let's say, people who might poof out your candle. So masculine energy, the energetics behind the masculine, is that it ensures that you progress and gives structure to the creative process, right? When overemphasized, so when you're too much of your masculine energy, you can burn out rapidly, and you can also disconnect from your intuition. So let's talk about the feminine energetics for change. Feminine energy is about receiving. So the downloads that you get, the intuition, right? Creativity, flow, being. It is in the realm of connecting, feeling, imagining. So both masculine and feminine energies are required for your vision. The energy is about nurturing your vision, trusting the process, faith, right? With each thought, it's either a thought of faith or a thought of fear. And living a life in fear, what is the quality of your life versus living your life in faith where everything is possible, faith in miracles, right? In the miracle zone, anything is possible. If you live your thoughts in the space of faith, then the life that you live within that space will be different than always in the thoughts of fear. I digress again. Okay. So feminine energetics about nurturing, right? Trusting the process, faith, allowing space for inspiration and adaptability, flexibility. So we talk about intuition, the inner wisdom that guides us. That belongs to the realm of the feminine energy. Creativity, exploring new ideas, openness, curiosity, flow, flexibility, surrendering to the natural rhythm, right? Not trying to push and make things happen all the time. Sometimes you need to push, sometimes you need to lean back, right? And let it come to you. Both are required. So that's why we talk about the balance in the masculine and feminine. Nurturing, like a plant. When you have your seed in the ground, you give it water, you give it sun, you give it soil, you give it the love, the things that it requires for the best energy to grow. And same with your vision. You need to cultivate it, you need to water it, you need to plant the seeds in soil that is good for its growth. So feminine energetics, masculine energetics, both are required in your vision. overemphasis of the feminine gives stagnation. So let's say you lean back, you lean back, you lean back, and you don't do anything. Right? You're like, nope, I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for something to happen, waiting, waiting, waiting. Right? Stagnation. Lack of focus. Right? Difficulty making decisions or taking decisive action. This is an overemphasis of the feminine. I'll just go with the flow. Anything is okay. Everything is all right. No, it doesn't matter what I eat. Well, it does matter what you eat if you are following a certain plan. It does matter if you have sensitivities to certain foods and you're still eating them. It does matter. Okay. So that was the third pillar. Ooh, we got through it. All right. 3 pillars today. Identity. Who do you need to become along the way to fulfill upon your vision? Expanding your first being able to regulate and experience whatever experience that you're experiencing. Ooh, that's a lot of experience. Okay. And then expanding your nervous system's capacity for more. And then balancing out the masculine and feminine energies in the vision and in the change that you want to create. Wow, that was a lot. Okay, so as I talk, a couple notes before I let you go. And the next free masterclass is on Tuesday, March the 4th. I'll be sending out the sign-up forms called Co-Creation. You lead, universe follows. It is a talk about this manifestation co-creation space, how to get there, how to stay there, what it is, what does it mean to co-create with the universe, God, spirit, source, whatever you want to call it, okay? It's how we work with the universe to manifest and to create what we desire. That's what it's going to be about. Tuesday, March the 4th, 1 p.m. Sign up. It's free. And for those of you who are enjoying this and who really want to commit even further to your 30-day challenge into the best year ever, we are doing a 30-day challenge within the Daily Dose of Healing. And from there, you're welcome. Yeah, thank you so much. You're welcome. Within that, where there's a group of us who are continuing the energy of this masterclass over until the end of January and then beyond into the rest of the year. But for now, in January, we're going to be talking about continuing to talk about how to create the vision that we have, take steps, how to mitigate things that may keep you from doing that. So today we talked about what happens when people want things to be perfect and why perfection can stop you from taking your next step and how to mitigate that, like how to overcome that. That was today's training. All right. Thank you very much. Have a happy new year. Make this the best year ever. I'm going to be sending out this recording probably in the next 24 hours or so. And if you have anything else, you can send me an email, or when you're in the office, you can talk to me. Merci beaucoup. De rien. Anytime. Best year ever. Yes, Kate, let's do it. Thank you. I needed this, says Caroline. No problem. All right. Talk to you all soon. Ciao.